Very good morning, students. Let us have a revision class. So, you people till now might have gone through all these topics. That is, what do you mean by toxicity and all? What do you mean by toxicity? So, toxicity is a substance wherein which, sorry, toxicity is nothing but the phenomenon where the chemical substances which are going to cause the toxicity in case of animals by the chemical substances or even exposure to the particular chemicals or even toxicants. So, how these factors which is going to influence the toxicity? Sorry, which are all the factors? So, as we all know, the toxicity mainly particular pertaining to these factors, this toxicity of a substance usually depends upon the following factors. Which are those factors? Let us see. We have already discussed form and innate chemical activity, dosage, especially dose time relationship, whereas exposure route, whereas species also plays a very important role and life stage, such as infant, young adult, and even elderly adult. And even the gender factor also plays a very important role, and the ability to be absorbed and as well as metabolism also plays a very important role in the on is such factor which is going to influence on toxicity and distribution within the body, excretion level, and health of the individual, including organ function and pregnancy, which involves physiological changes which could influence toxicity, and nutrition status and presence of the other chemicals, cardiac rhythms, that is the time of the day which is where in which a drug or the other substance which is going to be administered to a body of a organism or even the individual. So let us have these factors which is related to the substance. So which are those form and innate chemical activity? The form of a substance which will have a profound effect on its toxicity, you all know, especially for the metallic elements which are going to be termed as heavy metals, as we have already discussed heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, right? For example, if you come across the toxicity of a mercury vapors, which is going to differ greatly from the methyl mercury, that is the CH3 mercury which is in the form of methylated one. So whereas a chromium, that is Cr3 plus, which is relatively non-toxic, whereas Cr6 plus, which causes the skin or nasal corrosions and even further leads to the lung cancers. So the innate chemical activity of a substance also varies greatly. You all know the form is like that, so which is going to have a profound effect on the metallic elements for metallic elements. Whereas in case of innate chemical activity, some can quickly damage cells causing immediate cell death, whereas others slowly interfere only with the cell functions. For example, if you come across hydrogen cyanide, which is going to bind to the enzyme cytochrome oxidase, further resulting in cellular hypoxia condition and even rapid death of the cell. Nicotine, which is going to bind, one such compound we have already seen, that is nicotine, which is going to bind to the cholinergic receptors in the central nervous system, that is CNS, which further leads to altering the nerve conduction and even inducing gradual onset of the further paralysis. So, for these factors, especially uh, factors which are related to the form and innate chemical activity, we have seen. What do you mean by dosage? Dosage is also one such factor, an important critical factor in determining if a substance